Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today it's time to talk about the Holy Paladin single button build. I already uploaded a Mistweaver and Discipline Priest single button build, and after uploading those two I kept getting comments everywhere saying we want a Holy Paladin build, and I was like, is that even possible? And I actually managed to do it. I freaking managed to do it. We have a solid build that is using the single button build as a Holy Paladin healing. And you can do normal dungeons, heroic dungeons, time walk dungeons, looking for raid. Yeah, the easy raid. I would probably not recommend this too much in Mythic dungeons or like normal heroic Mythic raid. It could maybe work if you try to change it a bit, but still for casual content like normal dungeon, heroic dungeon, leveling dungeons, time walking dungeons, looking for raid, perfect build. So perfect. So today's agenda is basically an intro, which we just finished. Then we got to talk about stats. Then we got to talk about talents, rotation, and then because I've got a lot of requests to actually add some gameplay to actually show that you can play this. So when we are done talking about all the stuff, I will play a 5-minute video in the end where you can actually see me playing through a dungeon explaining. So basically, if you just want that, you could just go to that section now. But it's going to be like a 5-minute video of me doing a dungeon where I'm actually healing with that build. Super efficiency. It's a 5-minute dungeon run. It took no time. Super solid build. But let's jump to the stats. So basically stats is by default, I would recommend you that go with intellect. What I mean, everyone is going to be like, now, what do you mean by intellect? Of course, we're using intellect as a healer. No, what I mean is I would highly recommend you to focus on eye level. So that means if you get a pair of hands with 700 eye level and another with 690, but the one with 700 has versatility, the one with 690 has haste, I would say you should go with the 700 because they have so much more intellect that it's really going to outscale. And even if you go to max roll, the GG, they say the conclusion here is that you want to equip the highest item level generally. So usually I would say go with the highest eye level. Of course, if you then get an item that has the same eye level, you should try get haste as number 1 and then versatility as number 3. Let's talk about the stats. So intellect is of course increasing your damage, healing, it just all increases everything you do. It just increases everything. It just scales up all. You love it. It's good. It's perfect. But what about haste? So haste is really good for Holy Paladin because it reduces the cooldown of a lot of your spells, but it also makes us use them faster. So for example, you can see my judgment has a green cooldown in the right corner, which means it is haste affected. The more haste I have, the faster cooldown it has. We also have Holy Shock is also green, which means it's also haste affected. We also, I think we have, is that those two we only have right now? It is, it looks like it is, yeah. But still, Judgment and Holy Shock is quite important in your build, I would say. So those two can be a world changer. So both, it gives them a lower cooldown, but it also makes us use the rotation just way faster. Versatility is also good for Holy Paladin. It gives like a straight out higher healing and damage. Also as well, I could probably read that for you. Increase the damage and healing done by 9% because I have 9% versatility, and decrease the damage taken by 4.62%. So it reduces the damage we take, but it increases damage and healing we do directly. And Holy Paladin is very direct healing, if you know what I mean, just boom healing. Then we got crit because it's okay, and mastery is, it's a bit weird. It's increasing the healing done up to 41% based on the proximity of your target, which means if I heal that guy over there, the closer I stand to him, the higher I heal. We do of course have a talent here, which is doing that. When you add Beacon of Light on them, which is a spell, you can see Beacon of Light at this spell here, where every time you heal someone else, it also heals them. Basically, we have a talent that does that also. If you're closer to the beacon, you also increase the healing. So, it has to either be the beacon or the person. But don't think so much about that. Mastery is the last stat we ever want to think about. But yeah, that is the stats. Let's move over to talk about talents. this one here was a tricky one for me, I have to admit, because I started out with the Mythic dungeon build from Max Roll, and then I had to like change it into fitting the melee healing build. I had to like change a lot of things, sacrifice a lot of options to get exactly what I need. So, for example, one of the important things in this build here, let's go through them one by one. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to cover the ones that is affecting damage and healing. So you know when you deal damage, you actually heal. The first one here is in the left side, Light Forge Blessing. Shield of the Righteous heal you, and up to 2 nearby allies for 1% of their maximum health. So basically, every time you use Shield of Righteous in your rotation, it's going to be your mainly holy power ability you use in your single button rotation. It deals damage, but it also heals 3 people, yourself and 2 others, which is great, like lovely. And sometimes you can like throw out so many of them, which is amazing. You also have this one here, Divine Purpose. Holy Power Spending ability have a chance to make your next Holy Power Spending ability free and deal increased damage and healing. So sometimes when you spam Shield of Righteous, it keeps getting free and free and free. You know, it keeps like resetting the cooldown, which is insane. Well, not cooldown because it doesn't have a cooldown, but you know, it keeps giving you back the holy power so you can use it again. And I think in the last dungeon I did, I had like 3 of them in a row, so it could just like boom, 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 boom. Insane healing. So yeah, pretty good. Then you also have this one here. Allies are healed by 100k when you cast a blessing on them. This one is not like good in itself, but the reason for why we have picked it is because of this one here. Your auto attacks heal a nearby ally for 20k. So while you're doing your single target rotation and dealing damage, every time you auto attack, which is pretty fast because when you're using single one-handed weapons, every 2.6 seconds, I'm basically throwing out 20k healing, 20k healing, 20k healing, which is pretty cool. Lastly, over here on the left side, what is important for this build here, is that we have this one here that is increasing the size of our consecration. You might ask why. That is because this one down here called Golden Path is basically doing every time people they stand in consecration, they get healed by about 4,000 every 0.8 seconds. So even faster than every second, they get healed. And this one above is also good because when you use Judgment, the next 5 successful attacks against that target get healed by 15k. So you can already see this build is a very damage focused thing. You want to have consecration down because it heals everyone. You want to use Judgment because it does when people attack the target, they get healing. And you want to use Shield of Righteous to damage because it also heals everyone around you. I think that's the most important things we got to talk about in this side here over here. We also have this one here, Eventual of Wrath, which deals Hammer of Wrath deals 50% more increased damage to enemies below 35% health. I'll come back to why that one is good. Not gonna spoil it yet. But that's what we have on the left side. In the middle, it's a very standard casual build, which most people are running. You don't really have to think about too much about the one in the middle. But again, I will just recommend whatever I have here to use that. The main purpose of why we are Hero of the Sun is because when you use Eternal Flame on one of your team members, it basically, after you have used Holy Prism and you're using Eternal Flame, it adds this like very strong healing over time buff on your target, which heals insane amount to that target and everyone around you. So just to like show you, if I use Holy Prism and then Eternal Flame on myself, I get this buff here called, I use it now, healing. I can see radiation of 5% of this healing to nearby allies. So basically, it heals like what was that, like 200k? I need to see what that number was. There, healing 200,000, I believe, and radiating 5% of this healing to nearby allies every 1.6 seconds. So basically, it creates like a really, really strong healing over time on the target after you have used Holy Prism, which only has 30-second cooldown. Then the next 2 Eternal Flames you use is giving an insane strong healing over time on that target, but it also heals everyone around you. So what you do is you basically cast it on 2 different people, and then you just like get insane amount of healing to everyone around you. It's kind of like a shaman's healing totem, if you know what I mean. It's so good, and you can do it every 30 seconds. Super strong. Let's go to the holy side on the talent tree. So in the holy side here, the main thing we're gonna think about over here is that, let's start here, where we have this one here, Holy Prisma. We need this one because we need to be able to actually activate Dawnlight. Without this one here, you wouldn't be able to activate Dawnlight. Of course, you can also take Barrier Fate, but Dawnlight, Holy Prisma, sorry, works so much better because you use it on enemies to deal damage, and then it basically heals everyone around you. Someone's to duel me. So super strong damage and healing spell. Beside of that, I have also chosen to take this one here called Beacon of Fate, which basically allows you to use Beacon of Light on your tank, and for example, Beacon of Fate on yourself or one of the other damage dealers. And then I have chosen to use this one here, which is basically healing whoever has this beacon on them. They get 30k healing every 3 seconds. You kind of see where I'm going, right? Because this one here heals everyone that stands in consecration. This one heals everyone when they are standing, getting auto attack. Basically heals someone when you do auto attack. This one heals when you do use your righteous. This one now heals everyone that has my beacon on. There's only 2 in your party that can have it on. But still, you can see where I'm going. It keeps like healing everyone like passively. I know this one might have been better, Beacon of Virtue, but because then every time you use it, everyone would get like 300k healing. But the problem is it will add an additional spell into the rotation. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make a build that is very easy, friendly, not many spells, and also even controller friendly. So you could play it on a controller without having too many spells. This would add another spell into the rotation we would have to keep casting, which I don't want because I think we have plenty down here right now. Beside of that, we have this one here, which not many people plays with, but it's insane. It basically does that Hammer of Wrath heals up to 5 injured allies for 280% of the damage done from, of course, Hammer of Wrath. But the cool thing here is now, Flash of Light, Holy Light, and Judgment critical strikes reset the cooldown of a Hammer of Wrath and make it usable on any target regardless of their health. So that, of course, means whenever you use Judgment and it crits, or, of course, as it said, Flash of Light, Holy Light, but especially Judgment. Every time you use Judgment and it crits, you can also then use your Hammer of Wrath, which is basically going to heal everyone for like a big amount of healing. And the cool thing is the single button assistant you have up here, the spell you have to drag down to your hotbar, like this one here, has already Hammer of Wrath inside it. So whenever Hammer of Wrath gets, you can use Hammer of Wrath because of that talent tree, it automatically switches to Hammer of Wrath on your number 1. So don't worry, you don't need to like add down Hammer of Wrath in your rotation. It's already automatically in that single button one. So that's why I chose that one, because that is big healing. Next, I have taken this one here, which is basically Crusader Strike now reduces the cooldown of Holy Shock. We don't really care too much about that one, but it also reduces the cooldown of Judgment. And you know, we like the Judgment because Judgments gives us this healing buff over here. It also does that your Hammer of Wrath has a chance to be resetted and, you know, to be able to use for healing. But we also have this one here. Judgment heals 200k and its mana cost is reduced by 30, and 50% of the healing, well, it basically heals you. It heals you. But 50% of the overhealing, that means if you already had 100% HP and you use it, then 50% of that healing, 100k of it, is going to be spread out to 2 allies in 40 yards. Again, now our Judgment spells also heals. That means in the single button rotation, our Consecration heals everyone standing in it, our Crusader Strike reduces the cooldown of Judgment, and Judgment heals and also resets the cooldown on Hammer of Wrath. So you can see it has like a really, really cool synergy, this build. It's a custom made by me, but it has a really cool synergy. Beside of that, I personally like to play with this one here, Merciful Aura, which basically heals everyone around you. Well, it heals let me just read it up. Your auras, so it's important you actually have a Devotion aura on, just any of the auras. You just need to have one of your auras active. But basically, your aura restore 15k health to 3 injured allies within 20 yards every 2 seconds. So every time, and of course, because you're Holy Paladin with the melee build, you're gonna be standing with your teammates all the time, and it just keeps healing them 15k, 15k, 15k. And you can see this. We get all the time healing from this one here, or all time healing for this one here, this one here, this one here. you're gonna have like so many small numbers on your screen, just boom, 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 healing everywhere. It's quite cool. Again, for of course for casual content, but beside of that, it's really cool. Beside of that, we are playing with Avenging Crusade. Again, nobody does that in beta today. Like, not many people actually uses Avenging Crusade, but it's really well made for this single bottom build, because what it does is it basically makes your Crusader Strike and Judgment cooldown 30% faster, which we like because Crusader Strike is good, Judgment is good, but also what it does is that 200% of the damage is done, well, it heals up to 5 injured allies within 40 yards for 200%, 260% of the damage done, split evenly among them. Grants an additional charge of Crusader Strike for its duration. So basically, that spell is giving you wings for 15 seconds, and all the damage you do after that is just gonna, like you can imagine, when you use that, your healing is just gonna explode. Because both your Crusader Strike now, your Judgment is going to heal, all the other spells into rotation is going to heal. It's just like boom. So you can see how this is, it's insane. Beside of that, when you use that one, you also have this one here called Sun's Avatar, which is basically creating these lasers. It basically creates these lasers that is like going out. During Avenging Crusade, you become linked to your Dawnlight within 30 yards, causing 20 radiant damage and radiant damage to enemies, or 11,000 healing up to allies that pass through the beam. Reduced beyond 5 targets. Activating the Avenging Crusade applies 2 Dawnlights, and the Dawnlights is when you use Holy Prism and you use Eternal Flame, that very strong healing over time, as I talked about before, is what is called Dawnlight. So basically, by activating this one here, it casts automatically 2 Dawnlights. And what it says here, it applies 2 Dawnlights onto nervy allies or enemies and increases Dawnlight duration by 20%. Sun's Avatar healing does not transfer to Beacon of Light. That's a shame, but still good. So basically, this is a cooldown you can use every minute, and it's insane. It does a lot of healing, you can do damage while doing healing, and it just heals up everyone and casts Dawn of Light, and amazing. So I think that is the highlights of the talent. I know we also have stuff like Light of Martyr, which is basically, I like this one here, because while you're below 70% health, the light urgently heals you for 20k every 1 second. So this is really strong for you, because it keeps like auto healing yourself, which I kind of like. Beside of that, I know we had one more I needed to talk about, which is that one just does so your Shield of Righteous deals more damage. I think that was all the importance for now. I mean, of course, everyone in the talent tree here is important, but I only want to talk about the ones that is actually, having something to do with this, with the single target rotation. Rest of the talents you can read, but yeah, that should be it. So that's talents, and the video is already 20 minutes long. So I hope someone is still watching together with me. Now, if you go back to the agenda, we can see that we have talked about the intro, we've talked about stats, we have talked about talents. Now it's time for the rotation gameplay. So basically, the rotation gameplay, what you want to do is, of course, you want to use Beacon of Light on your tank. Use Beacon of Light. It's a one-time thing. You just need to do one time. You don't have to do it more in the dungeon. It's a one-time thing. Of course, if the tank leaves and you get a new one, you need to reapply it. Then you also have Beacon of Fate because of the talent we took here. Beacon of Fate, you could use it on yourself to make sure that you don't die, because you also have another talent here, which is basically this one here. When an ally with your Beacon of Light is damaged below 50% health, they absorb basically 800k HP, 800k damage. So when someone gets below 50% health, you get like a really big shield on you. So you could use it on yourself, you could use it on one of your damage dealers that you know likes to aggro a little bit more. You can use it on whoever you think is a good fit for it. But yeah, that's the first thing you do. Apply the 2 beacons you have. After that, it's basically just following your single target rotation. As you can see, we keep healing because he's standing in the consecration. And also when you're using Judgment, where was that one? Actually, consecration. I forgot to talk about that one. This one here. I totally forgot to talk about this one. Judgment has a 100% chance to cast Consecration at the target, and this limit. The limit on Consecration does not apply to this effect, which basically means you can both cast Consecration and also your Judgment is going to spawn a Consecration. And to my understanding, they actually double work, which means the double heal, they double damage. To my understanding, you can see like it keeps doing like that double tick with 5,000. So you're basically going to have 2 Consecrations down all the time, which is just going to heal and do a lot of damage. It's really cool. So as you can see here, my main healing right now is coming from my aura, which is healing all the time, my auto attack, my beacon of light, and my golden path, which is we're standing in. So already by just following the single target rotation, we have already healed 4 million, which I know is not that much, but it's still something. Then of course you're going to start using your Shield of Righteous, because Shield of Righteous, again, healed everyone, well, 3 people for 1% of their HP. So you can see now, if I use it, now we have done 7 million HP, now I use it, and now it's 10 million. That's of course only because this NPC here has a lot of HP, and it heals 1% of their HP, so I know that's a bit more than usually. But still, so what you basically want to do is you want to keep pressing 1, and whenever you can use your number 2 because it does damage and healing, very nice, and then you could go back to number 1 again, and whenever you could use number 2, you're going to use number 2 again, and as you can see, the healing just keeps going up, very, very nice. Then, and keep in mind, I'm going to show you a dungeon gameplay after this that is already pre-recorded, going to be in the end of the video. Basically then, you also have your Eternal Flame and you have your Holy Shock. Eternal Flame and Holy Shock is great spells for, someone messed up, they stood in fire, they stood in a mechanic they should not be standing in. So what are you going to do about that? Well, you basically click on them and then you either give them Eternal Flame because it's going to heal them for a lot, or you use Holy Shock on them. Your Eternal Flame, number 3 and 4, is basically the spells you use whenever you can see someone is very low, and your passive healing from damaging rotation is not going to heal them. So those 2 is just like, oh no, someone is in a situation where they need help. Then you literally have 2 intense cast spells which you can use. Holy Shock you can always use, has 2 charges. Eternal Flame means that you need to have Holy Power, and Holy Power of course is what you come from your rotation. Just keep in mind that if you keep using Shield of Righteous, which also use Holy Power, you're not going to have Holy Power for Eternal Flame. But that's kind of, you have to like feel the warmth in the room, you need to like find out, are people getting low all the time? Should I save my Holy Power for Eternal Flame? Okay, no, everyone is actually pretty good with my healing so far, so I'm just going to use my 1 and 2 all the time. And then of course you have Holy Shock. Keep in mind, Holy Shock can of course also do damage, but it doesn't really do any healing when you do the damage. Not to what I have found out. It doesn't, the healing you do, or the damage you do from Holy Shock doesn't heal. So it's not really like worth using on a damage, I would say. Of course, if you want to help your team with doing more damage to kill the boss faster, you could use Holy Shock, but then you're not going to have your emergency healing whenever someone needs it. That's the basic rotation. Beside of that, we also have Holy Prism, which is a really strong spell if you use it on enemies. So basically, if I use it on an enemy, it will heal all your allies, very strong. Like you can see, it basically healed all of us. And then the next 2, either Eternal Flame or Shield of Righteous is going to either deploy. Shield of Righteous is going to make a debuff, you can see here, which is going to deal a lot of damage on that target every 1.6 seconds, and also splits to all the targets around it. So you could do really a lot of like damage. If like let's say your tank pulled 5 to 10 mobs, you could use it. Holy Prisma, Shield of Righteous, you could use it twice because it has 2 stacks, and then basically you have a very strong damage that is like going on all the targets. But maybe you want to save it for healing, because when you use Holy Prisma, and then you can see your next of your 2. You can see the next either Shield of Righteous or Eternal Flame becomes free, so you don't need Holy Power for it. If you use Eternal Flame, again, it's... Okay, now it actually vanished. Because I was too slow to do it, so I'm just needing to... Okay, there we go. When you use your Eternal Flame, you can see it applies Dawn Light, which is basically healing that one for a lot, but it also heals everyone around it a lot. So that's why you can, when you use your Holy Prisma, of course that heals a lot. It heals like 1 million, so everyone very fast. But then you have to decide, should I use my 2 stacks of Dawn Light up here on either damaging or healing? I would say if you want to play safe, use them on a healing. You could because when you use them, they are on for like something like 10 seconds. So what you technically could do is you could use your Holy Prisma, then use Eternal Flame on yourself, because then you don't need to click on anyone. For example, if you're playing with a controller, look at this. Holy Prisma, Eternal Flame just on myself, because it auto tags myself. Then now for this, for like, I don't know what it was, 8 seconds, it heals everyone around me. Now I can use Eternal Flame again. Boom, now for 8 seconds again, it's going to heal everyone around me again. And of course, if someone needs help, like a lot of healing, then you use that on them, because it will heal that person you heal even more. Plus, Eternal Flame itself is also healing all the time. It replaces your Word of Glory from this one here. So yeah. So that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we talked about. Then we have number 6, which is your strong cooldown Avenging Crusade. And basically, when you use Avenging Crusade, what your focus should be with this one here is to spam number 1. As you can see, it applies atonement to someone like that. It links us between each other. So if someone goes into the beam, as I understand, it heals them. And every time now I just press my spells, it heals for like an insane amount. As you can see here, look at that. It just heals. It's really good. So you could say that's your cooldown. It only has like 1 minute cooldown. It's a 1 minute cooldown, so you can use it every single minute. Super strong, super good. So every minute you're just gonna go berserk with your single target rotation. Keep in mind you can of course still use your number 2 in there, because that also heals a lot. You can still use your number 3, 4, 5 also into the rotation. It all goes together. So that is your main priority. And in the gameplay video I'm going to play after this video, you can see from that one that it works really, really well together. Then, of course, we have a few other spells. I'm just going to go over it. It's not like you need them like a big time, but it's nice to know they are there. You, of course, have Cleanse, which is a spell that removes poison, disease, and magic effects. Not that important, normal, heroic, and looking for raid. It's more like in higher content where you can have some stuff that is really... Then you have your 2 primary healing abilities. Holy Light, which is like a... it's a slow healing spell, but it heals for 1.1 million. Flashlight is a very fast one, but only heals for 200k. So you have your slow, strong, quick, fast. But keep in mind, these 2, of course, has no cooldown. You can keep using them as much as you want. So if someone is like getting very, very low and they need some healing, you could stop doing whatever you're doing and just spam, either Holy Light or Flash of Light on them. Not a problem. Those 2, yeah, keep them close. You could also extend this bar so it has, 8 slots, and then put those 2 down there. You also have Rebuke, which is basically an interrupt. Some bosses, they will use like some spells that you need to interrupt. It's nice to have. Then you have Divine Toll. Really, really, really strong cooldowning as well. When you use it, it's basically use Holy Shock up to 5 targets in the 30 yards. So you can see, boom, everyone gets massive healing, everyone gets massive damage. Super cool spell. Also, when you use it, you can see here, after casting Avenging Crusade, your next Holy Shock cast additional 2 times. After casting Divine Toll, which we just used, your Holy Shock cast additional 2 times. That means if I use my Holy Shock now on this guy, it heals him 3 times with a Holy Shock. Like 3 times. That was 2 million, 2 million, 1 million healing. So whenever you use your Divine Toll, whenever you use your Avenging Crusade, your Holy Shock is basically going to be used 3 times whenever you use it, which is like you can get someone from 10% health to 100% health with just this trick. So you try and work around with it and see how you can make it work. We also have Light of Dawn, which is basically using your holy power for healing everyone in front of you. So you can see unleash a wave of whole energy, healing everyone, healing up to 5 people in front of you for 15 yards. So it's not a super strong spell. It's okay. If you really want to play with that one, you should change it to this talent tree here. This I think it's this one here, which is increasing the range of Light of Dawn to 25. So it actually is a bit further away. I'm not really using it. We also have Blessing of Freedom. Basically, if someone is slow, they can move away now. You have Blinding Lights, which is basically blinding everyone, can help your team. You also have Hammer of Justice. You also have Blessing of Protection, which is a cool, strong shield. As it says here, immune to physical damage and harmful effects. They can still take spell damage, but not like directly like attacks, like melee attacks and stuff like that. You also have your combat rest, so basically if someone dies, you can combat rest them from death, which is super cool. It's a new thing Paladin got in this expansion, I believe. We also have Divine Steed, very cool spell to like get around. You should use that. And then it has 2 charges. We also have Divine Protection, which basically reduces all damage you take for 20%. Very cool self-heal, like self-buff. We also have Aura Mastery. This one is actually important. So basically it makes your aura even better. In this case here, my aura right now reduces the damage you take by 3%. But by using this, it reduces all the damage we take by 12%, everyone in the party. Super cool. But it also increases this one here, your Merciful Arrows, which basically heals everyone all the time. It increases so that everyone in 60 yards getting healed now, and also the healing is increased by 20. So you can see when I use it, now that one would take less damage, but also it keeps like getting even more healing over like all the time, which is pretty cool. We of course also have Lay on Hands, which is basically giving a heal. It heals equal 100% of my health, so I have 9 million HP, which means I'm gonna heal it for 9 million, like that. It's a 7-minute cooldown, so very big cooldown. We also have Divine Shield, which is of course our bubble. You know, when you use it, you are immune to all attacks and harmful effects. Basically, no one can hurt you for 8 seconds. So if someone is attacking you and the tank is not seeing it, you could use it, and yeah. We also have Blessing of Sacrifice, which is a spell that will take up, so basically it reduces the damage they take by 30%, so you can use it on the tank if someone like really strong is going on him right now. I can't use it on anyone right now, but 30% of the damage is going to be reduced on them, but all that damage that is reduced is going to you instead. But that's maybe fine, because you can maybe survive it, especially if you put it together with some cooldowns like Divine Shield or Divine Protection. And it lasts 12 seconds until transfer damage would cause you to fall below 20% health. So don't worry, you're not going to die. When you get down to 20% health, it automatically cancels so you don't kill yourself. That's it. That's the rotation. Now this video is 30 minutes long, super long, but that was basically everything. We have now talked about Holy Paladin single button build, intro, stats, talents, rotation, and now whenever we're saying goodbye, I'm gonna play a 5-minute video where you can see I'm actually playing a dungeon with this build, so you can actually see it is a valid build and it actually works, and it's just not something I'm saying. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you like this build. In case you want my talent or you want my UI build, like if you want a UI that I have or you want a talent, I can give you a code. YouTube don't like when I put it down in the comment section because it's like a long code, it looks weird. So you can join my Discord. You can find my Discord link in the description. And I have a room over there right now called Holy Paladin single button, where both my UI and my talents are in right now. So yeah, join the server, go and grab my talents and also my UI in case you want it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the 5-minute gameplay video that I'm going to play now. All right. Let's test this build and see what that healing it can do. Of course, we have a tank who pulls a lot, so I would start using some Holy Shock on him. We also have, of course, to apply our Beacons of Light. But as you can see, I'm just using my Holy Shock on whoever needs health right now, just to like start the battle. But now we're gonna go into the single target rotation, just spamming it. Just keep spamming it, and you can see the healing is keep going out everywhere. And then whenever you have holy power, you use your Shield of Righteous, because Shield of Righteous heals a lot of people for a lot because of our talent here. But very importantly, throw Beacon of Light on your tank. You could use your Beacon of Fate on another. Yeah, you also need to put that out on another DPS. But as you can see, I'm just using now my number 1 and number 2. And whenever someone needs a stronger healing, you know, I just click on them, I press 3 to give them Eternal Flame or Holy Shock. They're kind of like your saving buttons. But beside that, you just use your single target rotation. And whenever someone else like needs help, it's basically just, you know, you press 1 and 2. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Just 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now let's see if we can actually do it as well here. Throwing 1, 2... 2, 1. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We have managed to create a freaking Holy Paladin build. Now you can see someone lose health. Okay, fine. I'll give them a Holy Shock. That's it. You know, quickly click on them. And then back to the single target rotation. To make it even more fun, we can of course throw in a number 5, which is Holy Prism. And again, Holy Prism is basically, if you use it on the enemy, it will heal everyone. And then your next Holy Power spendings is going to be either like a damage over time or a healing over time. So for example, now you can see here, press 5, everyone gets a big healing. Very nice. And remember, whenever people stand in your consecration, they always get healed, which is quite effective. So now, if we for example throw a heal like number 3, Eternal Flame, on one of my party members, he gets healed for insane amount, but at the same time he also heals everyone around him, which is super efficiency, like effective. But as you can see, just 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, until a lot of people needs more healing. So this build is totally viable for like doing casual content. Normal dungeon, heroic dungeons, looking for raid. I wouldn't use this build in Mythic Plus. No, I wouldn't do that. Oh shit. Some people here. So there you can see I used my Holy Prism on an enemy to get like everyone healed. And after that, I used my Eternal Flame on 2 party members, because then they AoE heal everyone. Like they heal everyone like crazy amount. You can just see like how much healing that goes out right now. It is really good. So whenever you are in like a really tough situation, use Holy Prism on, you know, like an enemy to heal everyone, and then use 2 Eternal Flames, because that will just keep healing everyone back to 100%. And then back to your normal rotation, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And again, if you're playing on your controller, this is going to be perfectly as well, as you can see. And again, of course, you can use your Holy Shock as you want, like use a Holy Shock on one of your party members, use Eternal Flame as well, whenever they glow up because of our talents. And for bigger situation, of course, we have Avenging Crusade, which is a cooldown that is actually ready every minute. When you use it, your Crusader Strike and Judgments is now going to heal everyone, which is even better. Let me just read it up for you. You become the Ultimate Crusader for 15 seconds, Crusader Strike, and Judgments cooldowns are 30% faster, and heal up to 5 injured allies for 260% of the damage. So really nice cooldown. You should keep using it, because I mean you can use it every single minute. So yeah, very efficiency. But yeah, as you can see, the dungeon is almost over. We have had no problem healing this dungeon, because I was just using my 1 and 2, number 3 and 4 in, you know, situations where someone needs a healing. For example, now I could use number 3 on my tank. Not good. Now I actually got aggro. Now we could use, and again, also you can also use Holy Shock as a damage spell. That's also fine. I would normally save it for like healing. You could also use this as a damage spell, but it doesn't heal when you do damage with it. So that's kind of like why I'm saving it, if you know what I mean, because it's kind of like ways to use in damage. Of course you do more damage, but still. Now we're using number 5, just using number 3 on myself. You can see very easily I don't even have to target another player, because I just use number 5, then I get the very cool buff that, you know, turns my Eternal Flame into healing everyone. Use it on myself again, and boom, everyone gets just automatically healed, because I have this Stone Light on, which is basically healing everyone around me. But now back to 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm saving my number 6, Avenging Crusade, for like this phase here. So you can see when we go up here. Now I'm going to use my Avenging Crusade and go nuts with my damage, because now my damage is going to heal so much. All of my damage spells are going to heal so much. So yeah, that's basically it. That took me 6 minutes to do this dungeon as a really cool single button Holy Paladin.